Alright, let's fall asleep to some more Patrician 4 because I have got a lot of ore hauling to do here, and it's going to be quite the opposite of exciting. So a quick overview of how things are looking if we ignore the fact that Bremen is a smouldering wreck and population only 4,000 ain't so good. Well, in the previous session I got myself a counting house in all of the internal cities, so now we get to see what they look like. Not a lot of fun is how they look. Something else that we've done for many of these internal cities is that we have championed the construction of a new wall, just like this. And that means that we're actually going to have a lot of space to play with.
Consider this as either a token
A lot of space.
esteem or revenge, whichever you prefer.
Wow, they must have really liked building that minister, because they didn't want to build that wall. Anyway, Mr. Riga decided to do some sabotage on us. It failed miserably. Speaking of failing miserably, are we still under attack by pirates? Well, it doesn't matter, because what I need to do today, and what I've been saying for a long time, is try to manage the equilibrium of all of our cities. Now, it hasn't quite worked out because we have outliers like Rostock, which are twice as big as we need them to be, and places like Bremen and especially Danzig, which are very much not as big as we need them to be, because I'm facing recession, starvation, disease, you name it. Even Visby is currently starving, which is really not good. I mean, starvation itself won't kill off my people, but as soon as this gets below 50%, they are going to start converting into beggars, and then beggars love to leave. So what's causing all the starvation is a great question. Lack of grain and another food source is the answer. The cheese is not flowing enough, which wouldn't be a problem if it weren't for the fact that meat and fish are both not flowing enough. Meat and fish are dying out because of a lack of salt, and a lack of salt is because of lack of wood. So straight away I'm going to go to Aarhus, where we have plenty of sawmills, and tell them, look, this is a big problem. I need to stop producing pitch and start producing a metric bollock ton of wood. Well, we can have a little bit of pitch. I don't want to completely get rid of that industry. But still, yes, lots of wood should solve that problem, as long as it actually gets to our salt makers. The salt makers make it over to our meat makers like Stavanger and Co. In fact, I've got something that tells me where all my meat is being produced. It's right here. So tell me, where is the meat? The meat is, of course, Bergen, Stavanger, and Oslo. But Stavanger is the main deliverance there, isn't it? Of course it is. Yeah, I mean, Oslo is not too shabby itself, but they're not going to be producing jack all if they don't have any salt. Kind of happy about all that meat. Do we actually have a meat brigade that runs from here? I can check quickly. Do we have an OSL meat brigade? Probably not, since so much of it is stacked up. Also be helping me if I knew what the alphabet was. L, M, N... Oh dear. Okay, well this is exactly what we have all these ships for. Shouldn't take a lot, because I don't think we'll produce a lot of meat up there. Better double check that one. Oslo, meat, how much? Well, I think you produce 2 per day in ideal circumstances. So this is way under what I'm expecting. 80 something of them? Really? Let me check production scales. No, you just do 1 bit of meat per day per thingy of these. Okay, well, the more you know. So 100 a day, and I'm sure it's not a long journey to get us back there. So, Mr. Nashstead, man, a single cog will surely take care of this. So you will be the Oslo to Rostock meat. And I'm going to take a name from the ship database as we do. We're going to call you the Glorious. Yes, the Glorio. Who's coming up with these names now? Oh, it's Hesoro. Simple job. You just gotta start in Oslo, end in Rostock, and then everybody is pretty happy. Well, why Rostock and why not Lübeck? Ah, Rostock's good enough. Go to Oslo, get the meat, please get all of the meat and go to Rostock and unload all of the meat. Easy. Oslo to Rostock, meat. Activate. Takes 6 days though. Might help if you were just a little bit bigger. Just a little bit bigger. Got any Hanseatic cogs? You don't see many of those these days. Plenty of hulks, sure, but who's paying attention to those? Either that or I could give you a couple of little slightly more lame... Ah, there we go, there's a Hanseatic cog. Get to it. Got plenty of capacity for that. Jake, I just joined. Can you give a brief description of this game? Sure. Lots of cities in the Hanseatic areas. You go to them, you buy goods in one city, you sell them for a bigger price in another city. Eventually you have a massive fleet that you automate, make loads of money, build businesses and houses and entire cities. And we're in the mid-game right now. Just trying to build everything up. So, I upped my production of wood in Aarhus. I can tick that off. That was the only easy thing I had on my to-do list here. I actually have a little notebook here for Patrician things. Helps with many, many things here. Oh, another thing on my to-do list is to up the production of grain in Rostock. Grain is far more important than our weavings here. And I would probably do well to have a few more grain production facilities here for a whole host of reasons, really. But I mean, this place is going to be one of our main grain producers later on, and why does this not work? What the hell is... Oh, well, I inadvertently did the out of walls glitch there, but I am trying real hard not to rely... Please don't keep that walled. Oh, bollocks. Okay, well, I really, really hope the AI does not use that. Yeah, I really hope it doesn't use it. Okay, well, you win some, you lose some. Otherwise I'll have to fill that with redundant, what is this game's problem? This game really has a problem with my authority sometimes. So if you somehow missed the many times when I explained that, you can bug walls, you can bug roads outside of the city walls, and it'll allow you to grow your city beyond what the wall constraints are. Alright, so how many did I just build? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 20, 29 more of them. And I'm going to want quite a lot of these. I might as well build all the ones that I want. When I look to Rostock and I check my absolute maximum production facilities here, I go to Rostock and they're meant to have 126 of these. So really I think I just overballed it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that's 124, 125, yeah, I put a bit too much. But not to worry. What I'm getting at here is that I want, let me see, like 300 more of you? That's fine. There we go. I want a lot more grain coming out because lack of grain is causing starvation right now. So that'll up the grain there. Good. Good, good, good. Now, for the longest time, Aalborg. Aalborg has been our hub city because I never actually imagined I would really be doing the center of, I was going to say the HRE, and I'm pretty much right. I never imagined I'd be doing these land routes, but as it turns out, I'm going to be doing these land routes. Now, I chose Rostock as where I'm going to have my hub. Now, Kongsberg would have been a slightly more attractive place since I'm already mayor here, and I own everything in the city because I built the damn city. It's the only city that connects to everything that fulfills that. I'm not even going to say requirement, it's just a desirable trait. However, it's at the absolute extreme end here. It would be like having Riga as our hub city. For one, it's really far away from the bulk of the other trading cities. So it puts extra mileage on everything I gotta do there. And I see that. I see that. So it means every cart would have to go a lot further just to do deliveries, whereas if I start in Rostock, I only gotta go halfway over to Kaunas and halfway over to, well, not even that, over to Minden. Much more desirable. That's why Rostock is going to be our hub. That means I have to change every single convoy I have because all of them either deliver to Aalborg or grab from Aalborg. So we got to do that. We have really got to do that. Okay, also I've had my my spreadsheet over that. That's what I do for. That's what I get for clicking back onto it. Hey man, some people think that they spreadsheet. I think my kind of spreadsheets would send the others crying. In any case, I want Rostock as my hub because it would be too extreme starting out here. There'd be so much travelling to do on my crappy little carts that only have 100 capacity, so probably not going to do that. Rostock will have to do. And that is not going to be fun. It's going to be anti-fun. Now I did say Aarhus increased the whole wood production thing. Was there anyone else that could bring in more wood? Haarlem is already doing 100. Aarhus will up it to 100. No point upping Danzig right now. Scarborough I think is still doing their 15 woods. That's Mead. Yeah, looks close enough to 50. Okay, well, no time like the present. Let's grab that treasure, get you back to what you do, and it doesn't give us anything there. Also, I don't want to be reminded of my failures here. Delete. Plenty of things I've done right, though. But, oh man. I don't think I've actually ever succeeded at revolt. I would like to, but I have not. Shame about that whole plague thing. So the wood flows, the meat and fish will flow, because the salt will flow, and then I should be able to get everybody fed. That's the hope at least, but the lack of grain over here is also a concern. Still, we'll know it's fine when Rostock is overflowing with grain. So what does that mean I have to do? Every single one of these. They gotta be done. There's nothing really to it. Okay. I mean, I could just go through them from top to bottom. I don't see why I shouldn't be doing that. I mean, for a lot of it, it's quite easy. I grab the ones that deliver to Aalborg. I just smack Rostock on the end. Rostock copies from Aalborg, and then Aalborg is deleted. And then all of a sudden, it's just the Aarhus to Rostock pit bangers. And I'm actually going to copy Ross. Oh man, this game doesn't have copy paste, does it? Does it have regular? Oh, okay. Well, it doesn't have copy, and I don't blame it for not pasting what I had copied there. Try and copy it. Try and copy it. No, no, it does not like it. I'm just gonna have to get really used to typing Ross. Aarhus to Aalborg, the wood, the stone-free wood. You're also gonna have to get changed. This could take a while. Hell, this could take about an hour. So, pour yourself something, I guess. But it's important. I mean, I could not do this if I didn't want to have any kind of inland trading. But I thought the whole point of doing this is to make sure that I am done with this game. And if I left internal trade not done, would have just caused I would have come biting back to this game in the future. Now Aalborg counts as a central part here, so I can just knock them right off. So what I'm going to do is move Aalborg to the bottom, add in Rostock, and then Rostock copies from Aalborg, goes up to the top and gets deleted, and then suddenly it's the same thing, but it's all just coming from Rostock. It's going to make the western journey 2, maybe 3 days longer for every route around we do, but needs must. Jake, why don't you just make a route for each product to each city separately? That would be a lot of convoys. Do you mean I would have fish going from Rostock to Nevsted, and one going from Rostock to Malmö, and one going from Rostock to Aarhus? That would be so many convoys. I would never have enough ships for that. I mean, it would eventually, but it's horribly inefficient. Very inefficient, in fact. On the note of pouring something, my folks want to give me a bottle of whiskey and asked for a name. Got any suggestions? Anything Linkwood will do you fine. Okay, there's something else I want to change with my trade routes. This is going to be equally incredibly long, but I'll get around to that later. Now the problem is they're still called Beer Al, when really they're Beer Ross, because everything comes from Rostock. Maybe I should save the renaming for when I'm done with all of them, but it's a good way to show that I'm actually done. But it also shifts them around quite a bit. No, I think I'll do it this way. So here's another one. Beer Rostock. Oh, shoot. Beer Rostock. Because that means I've actually changed it. If anything still has Al in the name, then it's probably not so good. This one's actually fine because it already goes to Rostock, so really there's no need to change it whatsoever. So I'm happy about that. Anything that did the center is something I don't have to worry about because Aalborg and Rostock were both center. So beer... oh no, this is Berg. Did I not have beer flowing to the... oh, okay. I'm just looking at this the wrong way. I'll sort this out nonetheless. So Rostock once again inherits. And, you know, I could just mark them off like that instead of deleting them. But I could also just delete them, so that works fine for me. And that's Bergen to Rostock with the meat. Alright, great. Beer Rostock 3, the Mandrake. So once again, I need Rostock instead of Aalborg on this. Copy the Aalborg. Destroy the Aalborg. And that's good, that takes care of everything in the east. Stettin counts as center. That's something that's important to remember. And when I'm inheriting, good, we load and unload all the beer, as it should be. And then there's Beer Aalborg 4, which is now Beer Rostock 4. Yeah, I always thought putting in the Al was a bit extra, but now I see. So you were another beer center. Why did I have two beer centers? I mean, one of them's only 500, sure. The other one is quite a bit larger. Excuse me. I'm allergic to inefficiency. How about the opposite? One big convoy to distribute all the goods from the hub. Because it's good to have one hub that you can collect everything from. And that's about as good as my explanations get. There is a bit of backtracking on it, but there's also a bit of a center house. Okay, so that's all the beer done. Beer Ross, Beer Ross, Beer Ross, and Beer Ross. Great. Bergen to Rostov meat is done. Then there's the Boston to Aalborg salt yeoman. I think it's just yeoman, but I prefer the idea of more yayo. Especially when it's salt we're talking about. I'm a bit bummed that Rostock isn't somewhere that I made, but you can't win them all. So over to Rostock you go. Inherit. Lost Aalborg gets deleted. Great, easy as that. And then there's the Bremen to... why is the name not updating there? Okay, here we go. Bremen to Rostock. Hemp, the Sultan. You know, if I recall well, that Blackstaff campaign that I never did revolved around the Sultan quite a bit. Our ally, the Sultan. Ugh, what a horrible game. Okay, so that's bringing in all that delicious Bremen salt. Of course, there's also the Bremen to Aalborg hemp and the Golden Horde. Does Bremen still do hemp for me? According to this, it does nothing but hemp, so I'm surprised that it's, hang on, I had two things bringing hemp? You do the hemp. Oh, you were the salt. Okay. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Why did I think I had two doing the hemp? No, because you say it right there. But apparently you do salt. What? What? Bremen does nothing but hemp. So I don't know why it's called the Boston Salt. I am very confused at that, but whatever works. You're doing your job, right? Yeah, you got the ham. Well, your new destination is Aalborg. What? Rostock. Why do I have two of them? Oh well. How do you have only 2 million ducats? How did you lose that much money? I spent a lot of money on the internal cities, getting counting houses everywhere. But now I do have counting houses actually everywhere. Okay, I'm gonna have to check and see what happened to Boston. In fact, because there's my Boston Salt. Something weird just happened, I guess. Point is, you go from Bremen to Rostock, and you deal in hemp, and that's what we need. You, on the other hand... I'm so confused here. Bremen to Rostock hemp. There's no need for two of them. And they both do like 4,000. Just how much hemp are we producing in Bremen? Well, I guess 400 every day. No, 600 every day. But it's only 6 days. Why? I mean, Bremen's barely full either. Okay, I have no idea why I have you. So, I think I'm going to shove one of you over as a Toto. Probably the one that's not even full. Go to Nefsted, you are now Toto. And I'm getting rid of this. Getting completely rid of that. That was very strange. Why did I have two? Well, I'm sure past Jake had a great idea, but it's now outdated. Now bricks from Aalborg, and they go west. Well, they used to go from Aalborg, but now they go from Rostock. Rostock... I mean, really, it can inherit from anything. And it just goes here, whilst we shove Aalborg to the end, and delete Aalborg. Looks good. Looks great. Note that it doesn't go to Bruges. Bruges makes bricks. But I'm going to sort all that later, which means we're going to go through all these twice. Now, I know going through them once sounds really exciting, so twice must be twice as exciting. I think that's how it works. Alright, then there's Brick East. Again, much the same, but you just gotta start from Rostock. Beautiful. Brick Rostock 4 west. And again. In goes Rostock. Out with the Aalborg. Not bad. Not bad at all. Then there's the Brick Aalborg. Ah, another east one. So I only have one doing the center? And it only carries 2,000? I am shocked and appalled. But it's easier to check these things when you have a single well-supplied hub. So once again, Rostock's your man. I could, again, just tick off do not visit here, but I'd rather be thorough. Goodbye. And then we only have one more, that's the center, and all I need to change is the name, because it already hit up Rostock and Aalborg, and they have exactly the same things to do, right? Unload max, load max, and unload max, load max. Beautiful. Great, all that had to change was the name. Now, bricks are good. What about Bruges to Aalborg metal? Well, you can never have too much metal, as we all know. But the problem is you're going to Aalborg. You need to go to Rostock. Rostock, we inherit, we delete Aalborg, and we never speak of them again. It's going to be a sad state of affairs in Aalborg because I'm crushing them down so much. But such is how it is. Then there's the cheese from Aalborg. Again, I can just delete this because the center one works fine. But there is the Pepsi Man. And from now on, he starts from Rostock. Rostock needs to take Aalborg's place, and Aalborg gets deleted. Good. Swole control. They're going west, though. At least when I do the other change, I won't have to change any names. I just need to uncheck one or two cities on each round. Okay, what else is there? Cheese from Aalborg. Number 2, the Cog of Duty. Aalborg, no, that's Rostock now. At least you do the east. We like the east. As long as it comes from Rostock. Doesn't distance changing screw the routes, or are you planning to add more ships? Well, I can add more ships or even more convoys as time goes on. I'm not concerned about that. Either people will be undersupplied, in which case I add more ships, or they will have too many ships, in which case what's the problem? Okay, I pay a little bit too much on my ship costs, but it's very hard to lose money in Patrician. So, again, not concerned. Okay, that looks good. Really? I didn't have a lot of cheese. Cheese 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oh well, works for me. Then there's the cloth. Cloth center doesn't need to change a diddly. At least not yet. Its day will come, don't you worry. Then there's McBain. I can't supply all these cities with this pea shooter. But in this trade league, we go by the book. And I love McBain. And once again, Aalborg gets removed from the picture. The Dalai Lama, I seem to recall them giving us quite a lot of trouble in the past. Rostock 4, Clothes West, or Cloth West rather, not to be confused with Clothes. I don't have any cloth dispersion, and I don't think I will ever have any, because I produce enough clothes to satisfy maybe one city. Regardless, Rostock needs to get in on this. And then Tradinator. You get enough of this done, you get into a zone with it. There's going to be some sick freaks watching this on YouTube in the future. I don't even know why they're watching what's currently out, but they do. Yeah, especially you, Sebastian.